Just a couple of days have passed since we won our third Champions League with FC Voluntari in Romania in our Building a Nation save, and we have decided to quit, and we are now going to go forward. I think we're going to kind of do 5-year intervals into about 25 years into the future to see what they have done to this Voluntari side, what's happened to Romanian football as well, and I'm also interested to know what's happened to some of these players, like your Tom Davidsons. He's only 23. So, in 10 years' time, he's going to be 33. He's got his entire career ahead of him. I want to see what kind of happens to some of these players. And obviously, I really would love to see, not Andre Stinger in particular, but I'd love to see Romania actually do well in a tournament. I don't think it's going to happen. It is the end of May 2053. 5 years have passed since we have left our voluntary job. And let's see what has gone on then with that team. Well, the first thing I can see is they are managed by Rodrigo, who is now 52 years of age, obviously former Real Madrid and Al Ittihad player apparently, and then Real Madrid under-19s manager, and then manager of Al Ittihad, and then Lyon, and now FC Voluntari. He's a very good manager. They've also got vice-captain Tom Davidson. That's pretty interesting, the fact that he is still at the club at 28 in his prime, not really getting many England caps. He probably should be. Well, looking at the league history, the next 5 seasons, they've won all of them, which is to be kind of expected. They've not won any more Champions League, so 2048 was our one, but they have won a World Club Championship in 2049. They've also not won the UEFA Super Cup, or maybe they did. They might have won the UEFA Super Cup in 2048. I think that probably was a thing that they did. 16 league wins. So, yep, they've won every single season since. It's technically going to be 17 because they haven't got the 2053 one on there. They're also in the Champions League final this season. We've come back a day before, or a couple of days before. In fact, it's today that it takes place, but we're not going to do that because I've holidayed 25 years into the future with various different saves. We're going to have to find out what actually happened against Aston Villa in the next little part of the video. Taking a quick look at the squad then. So obviously 5 years have passed. Some players who are still there. We've seen Tom Davidson. George Boateng is still at the club after bringing him back, and he's actually not too bad at all, is he? That's very good. Anyone else? Carlo McLennan, still at Voluntari. 397 appearances, 30 days left on his contract. He is probably leaving the club at the end of the season. Could he win the Champions League for a 4th time with FC Voluntari? That would be pretty good. Anyone else? I mean, we've got quite a few Romanian players coming through. Yamamoto's still there as well, 26 years of age. He is ridiculous. He is utterly ridiculous. 26-year-old goalkeeper he's insane. So I know it's optimistic, but we're going to take a look to see how other teams have done in Europe as well. So obviously, we've only got technically four competitions that have taken place since the end of last episode. So we haven't seen any Romanian sides in the Champions League final, apart from this one, obviously. In the UEFA Cup, it's not been called that for ages, has it? The Europa League, still no Romanian sides there. Europa Conference League, I imagine, probably none there. Nope, doesn't look like it. And the UEFA Super Cup, we obviously won it against Bournemouth for some reason. Fair enough. But that's been pretty much it. So it's still just Voluntari holding the fort. And not that it really means a huge amount coefficients-wise. Romania are now 6th. They've kind of stayed around 6th place. I don't think they're ever going to reach 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or arguably 4th. They might get 5th. Like, Italy is definitely within grabbing reach. In fact, Italy is definitely in grabbing reach. They're going to move up to 5th next year. Last little thing then before we move on to the next 5 seasons. Romania have actually moved up to 21st in the world rankings. They are climbing. Kuricima is at AC Milan, and he's pretty good. He's very good. Stefan Popper, we know, is still at Everton. He's very good. We've got Andre Stinger, who was our former player, moved over to Aston Villa, who's very good. I mean, Dumitru, also one of our former players. He's not so good anymore, but he is 34 years of age. Minea, I'm pretty sure he was ours. Came through Arges. He was a player I was trying to sign. I remember now. Razvan Lup, obviously a former player of ours as well. Still, I mean, the top players in Romanian football, quite a lot of them are players that at least I know. You may not know, but I've certainly seen their names kind of knocking about. I'm quite happy that some of the players as well. Marius Andre was ours, wasn't he? Was he ours? No, he wasn't. He was at Rapid. But they've done all right. They've climbed. I imagine they've not won anything, have they? What? In 2052, Romania finished 2nd in their group, 2 wins and a defeat, beating Poland and Greece, losing against Wales. Then moving in to the 2nd round. Where are they? Romania on the right-hand side, beating Ukraine. In the quarterfinal, Romania beating Spain. That's a very big win. And then Romania beating Scotland 3-0 in the semi-finals to set up a final against Sweden where they lose 1-0. They lose 1-0 in the European Championships final. And they got FM'd. They got absolutely FM'd. 5 shots, 2 on target for Sweden. 12 shots, 4 on target for Romania. They could actually win a tournament. In the next 20 years, they could actually win a tournament. Another 5 years have passed and their kind of little flurry in European competition has kind of ended. They've dropped back down to 33rd, kind of 35th, 36th was their lowest in the world rankings, but they've been up there now. They've been as high as 18th in the world rankings, but that's pretty much it. I feel like that was kind of their one chance. I think that was their one chance and they've blown it. In 5 years' time as well, Tom Davidson and Rodrigo are still at Voluntari. So Rodrigo is now 57. He's been there for 8 years. That's almost as long as I was there, I think. Tom Davidson now is 33 years of age. He's still very good. He's now got 55 caps for England, so he did suddenly start picking up some caps, which is obviously very good to see. I want to have a look. Have we got any other players that we recognise still in the squad? I think Enrique was a player that we signed. He's ridiculous. Enrique is a player that we signed. He's utterly ridiculous. Okay. Was not expecting that. So anyone else that we recognise? I don't see too many. Yamamoto still there at 31. He's still very good. I feel like he's probably going to still be here in 5 years' time as well because goalkeepers don't like to retire. He's a legendary goalkeeper with 104 caps for Japan. Has he ever scored a goal? He's never scored a goal. I would have loved him to score one. So competitions-wise, a nice long straight line then finishing top of the Romanian leagues. Constantly 2 more Champions League wins. In 53 and 54, another Club World Championship win as well. Another UEFA Super Cup win, I believe. Maybe not so much on that one. I mean, the fact they've won the Champions League twice, so they must have beaten Villa. They've beaten Villa, obviously in the one that we saw, and they beat PSG at Old Trafford as well. Voluntari are probably one of the... if we sort by winner, we can see Milan are up there with obviously, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 7? That's 7. Voluntari are getting there. We've got 5 Champions League wins. We're better than Inter and Juve. Not as good as Man City. We are better than Man United, though. We've won more Champions Leagues than Man United have. Notice I say we, as if like I'm still in charge. Club World Championship, so we've won 2 of these now. So, I didn't even check this. Let's talk by year, because that doesn't make sense. So, we beat Chelsea in the final in Turkey. We beat Aston Villa in the final in France. And we obviously did quite well a few seasons ago. I want to say maybe sort of 2033, maybe even the 37 one. We did quite well. But unfortunately, we didn't make it far enough to get to the final. But they won 2 more. That's good. I have just seen in the current season's Champions League, though, it's Bayern versus PSG. So they got knocked out in the semi-final, 3-2 defeat. Have we got any Champions League, or not Champions League, Europa League wins from anywhere else in Romania? Doesn't look like it, does it? Europa Conference League's almost certainly, because I don't think we ever get anyone in this competition. Just double check the Champions League. Yeah, no one else has managed to do it. Another 5 years into the future, and I imagine at this point, FC Voluntari, they must be getting bored of winning the league. I mean, that is how many consecutive league wins? 22, possibly, consecutive league wins? We've turned into PSG, and by turned into, we were PSG by about, I don't know, here, I think. Voluntari then, still managed by Rodrigo, now 62 years of age, been in charge for 13 seasons. Fair enough. We've now got Yamamoto as the vice-captain at 36. I told you he'd still be there. He's lost his physical attributes and his speed. I don't think he had much speed to begin with, but he's lost those. He's still going strong, still playing loads of games. 551 appearances. Still not scored a goal, though. Nope, not scored a goal. I'd let him take a penalty, guys. He's 36. What's the worst that can happen? Now, I'm pretty sure it is unlikely that we're going to have players we recognise still in the squad. We've still got Enrique. Is still there. At 34 years of age, he's still very, very good, isn't he? Nearly 500 appearances, league appearances, that is, for FC Voluntari. Everyone else, though, has sadly moved on. I mean, I imagine that some of them... Carlo McLennan, he's just retired. Just retired, fair enough. We've got Rodrigo is there. I mean, us and Rodrigo as legendary managers. Who else have we got? Enrique, we know. Toft Christensen, he went off to Watford and then Fulham. Tom Davidson retired as well with 323, I'm assuming, league goals for Voluntari. We've got Hedi Ben Salam as well. He's just retired, fair enough. And then no one else we kind of recognise. Obviously, Yamamoto is there. Arguably, after playing 560 or 551 appearances for Voluntari, he should probably be moved up to a legend, or at least, very least, an icon status. Just want to double check as well the facilities. So they've not done anything with the stadium. They're not moving into a new stadium, which is kind of annoying. I'd like them to build the Stuart Pearce Stadium, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I think they have won some more Champions Leagues and another Super Cup. Okay, let's take a look then in the Champions League. They're not in the final this year, but they have won 2 more Champions Leagues. So they've beaten Aston Villa again, and then Atletico Madrid. I mean, the fact that we've now got, I don't know, what was that, 7, 8 Champions Leagues? We are one of the best teams in Europe right now when it comes to winning Champions Leagues, which is just nuts. Europa League does not look like there are any Romanian sides, and Europa Conference League, once again, does not look like there are any Romanian sides winning that. But the fact that Voluntari are kind of propping this league up by themselves is quite funny. Romania as a whole, then, obviously, we've been 10 or so years since we properly checked them out. They've not won anything, which is understandable, and they have not progressed any further, or not even been a runner-up in any competition either. So we can drop down to World Cup 2046, 16th, and that is it. They've not even qualified. They're not even qualifying for them. That's the worrying thing. European Championships finishing 3rd. So they came 2nd in the European Championships there, and then got knocked out in the second round, and then just got knocked out in the group stages. What happened that year? Something weird must have just gone on. Coefficient-wise, they have moved up actually into 5th place and closing in on 4th. So by the time we've done 25, maybe even 30 seasons, they might actually be the best nation when it comes to coefficients in the world. And it's pretty much all Voluntari doing the hard work. It's now 2068 and Rodrigo is still in charge. That's ridiculous. That is, what is that, 18 years? 18 years Rodrigo's been in charge. Is he part Romanian? I mean, I feel like he should be, but I guess there's no real point. But the fact that he's still a manager is weird to me. I don't get it. I'm guessing Yamamoto's retired, and if he hasn't, I thought he was there then. I saw a Japanese goalkeeper. It's not. Yamamoto has retired, and he's only a favoured personnel. Only a favoured personnel. Enrique is also retired after 580 appearances, so everyone now who used to be playing has all retired, which is understandable because we are 15 years into the future. So even if they came in at like 16 in the last season, they'd be 31 at this point. So yeah, they're kind of all retired. There's probably the odd player here or there, but I have no idea who they are. Unfortunately, however, they have not won the Champions League since the last little bit of video, but they have just finished 2nd, losing to PSG in the final. Which is kind of frustrating, the fact they got there, but they're still there or thereabouts, which is okay. My expectations for Europa League and Europa Conference League are low, and understandable. No one from Romania has won that. However, we have somebody winning Europa Conference League. FCSB have won the Europa Conference League from Romania. I feel like we might have missed something. Cluj, actually. We missed Cluj. We've missed Cluj twice. I feel like I've missed lots of Romanian sides doing well in Europa Conference League because I can't recognise their badges. So Cluj have come 2nd twice. We've got FCSB winning it and coming 2nd as well. I imagine, tell me in the comments, there's probably others in there that I just don't see for some reason. But, okay, maybe it's not just Voluntari propping up the Romanian league. Maybe FCSB and Cluj are also helping out a lot. Speaking of the Romanian league and propping it up, so they've dropped back down to 6th place, although next season they'll be moving back up into 4th place. So these 3 nations, so France, Italy and Romania, kind of seem to keep swapping places, and they're actually not too far away from 3rd place Germany. It's just, 9 points or so. So all it takes is someone else in Romania to do quite well in Europe, and all of a sudden, they're going to jump up into 3rd place. I want to take a look at this quickly. So looking at European clubs, this is sort of by reputation, the best reputation, and Voluntari are 6th. The 6th most reputable team in Europe. I imagine if we push this to the whole world, they're probably still 6th, aren't they? Have we got anything else? Can we see, there's nothing interesting. I was expecting to see, finances. That's not going to help anyone, is it? I mean, Sepsi are rich. I feel like they must have, silly money then. Anyway, that doesn't really matter, does it? And then looking at Romania, they've climbed back up to 22nd. They were 20th in the world rankings. So what has happened? I'm going to click overview to see whether they've won anything. They haven't. Okay, competitions. Anything new has arrived? Runner-up in the French Youth International. And 3rd place as well in the French Youth International. Not really a thing. So in the European Championships, we would be looking literally at just this one, actually. So they didn't qualify in 2064. In 2068... they are 2nd in their group, which is not kicked off just yet. Okay, that makes sense. And in the World Cup, they got to the round of 16 2 years ago, losing to Argentina. I mean, they don't qualify for tournaments often. They really don't qualify for tournaments. Considering we are 40 odd years into the future, they've qualified for 4 World Cups since the start of this save, and then European Championships. They've arguably qualified for a lot more than that, but I mean, 4 World Cups in 25 years or something it's not good, is it? Let's jump forward 5 more years. It's kind of not even funny at this point that Voluntari just win constantly. Like, it's ridiculous, isn't it? This is absolutely ridiculous. The amount of times that Voluntari have won the league. Records, most wins, 36. We were in charge for half of them. Well, not half, but we basically started that 36. Just constant winning of the league. Fair enough. Most points in the season, though, Cluj. I feel like we were close to that, surely. Looking at the honours, it feels like they might be starting to drop off. They have not won a Champions League since 2060, so that is a 13-year drought so far. They might win it this year, because I think we're probably a few days before the final, but 13 years without a Champions League trophy. They have won, obviously, constantly winning the Romanian First League. Not won the Club World Championship since 2056, UEFA Super Cup since 2054, Europa Conference League since 2037. It's starting to become a little bit of a European trophy drought for Voluntari. And the last 4 winners, because we don't really get to see 5 for some reason, we got to see 4 winners, is PSG winning 3 of them, Man City winning the other, and it's kind of the usual suspects up there. In the final this season, Liverpool, PSG, Voluntari, where did they get knocked out? Did they get... What happened? Am I missing Voluntari? They're not in the chat. They are there, 19th. That is not a good season, and then Voluntari losing to Braga. They're starting to fall off. In 2073, they're starting to fall off. Maybe it's because Rodrigo's gone. Maybe they replaced Rodrigo with somebody who's not quite as good, and that is old Vlad here. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. Rodrigo, I assume, has retired. He has. I mean, it's still ridiculous that he was a manager of Voluntari for so long. But there we are. Voluntari then starting to slide away. And then if we go to Europa League, have we got any Romanian sides in here? Probably, but I won't be able to spot them because I'm not very good at seeing things. Europa Conference League, in the last 5 seasons, it does not look like anyone from Romania has won it. So the last time a Romanian side won any form of trophy is in 2056 with FCSB winning the Europa Conference League. However, the Romanian national side haven't won anything, but they've done all right. So in 2068, the Euros, they actually finished in the quarterfinals, losing against Belgium. In the 2072 Euros, which was last year, they finished they got to the semi-final and lost to Serbia. So they have done all right. They've kind of got reasonably far. Obviously, 2052 is kind of their crowning moment, coming second place, but they're doing all right. In the World Cup, however, it's not great, is it? I think 2066 we not have seen that one. I think we might have seen that actually. And then they are third in their group, or they finished third in their group. A World Cup, by the way, which was won by Mexico a couple of times. Oh, okay, fair enough. But up to 21st in the world rankings is kind of respectable, I think. Maybe. We're going to go forward 5 more years. I think I've simulated for a total of 30 seasons after I resigned from Voluntari. We're going to go forward 5 more seasons to our stopping point in 2078, where hopefully Voluntari can win some more European trophies. Someone in Romania can also do some half-decent stuff, and I'd love it if Romania could actually, lift a trophy. Just any trophy. Second place, I'll take second in the World Cup. Well, the fact that they are 19th in the world rankings and as high as 16th in the world rankings says to me they probably haven't won a World Cup, but have they done anything half decent? They've not won anything. Okay. European Championships then, so 2 seasons ago they get to the second round losing to Portugal on penalties. And in the World Cup, they finished third in their group, which we saw. They finished in the second round losing to Poland after extra time, and there is a World Cup. We are going to simulate this World Cup. I feel like it's just going to be pointless, but we're going to simulate this World Cup to see how well they do. FC Voluntari, on the other hand, going here, of course they've won that, just constantly winning that one, which is fine. No more Champions Leagues. No more Champions Leagues coming to Voluntari. Not even getting to the final either. That's not good. And it's Real Madrid PSG this season. If we drop down then to the Europa League, have we got any teams? CFR Cluj in 2037, finishing second place behind Red Star. But that looks like it for the Europa League. And then in Europa Conference League, Dynamo Bucharest. Dynamo Bucharest have won the Europa Conference League. Okay, it's someone else. Someone else is stepping up to the plate to win things for the teams in Romania. And, I mean, the fact that Dynamo Bucharest have won a Europa Conference League is pretty good. I'm happy with that. So then, the World Cup will be in this video. We're going to simulate to the end of the group stages first. So we're going to go on holiday until the 19th of June, which is barely a month or so away. And they're going to play Canada, Syria and Brazil. If they don't get out of that group, something's gone seriously wrong. Well, that was not what I was expecting. On the 19th of June, the World Cup has kicked off and Romania have won all 3 of their matches, beating Canada, Syria and Brazil, finishing bottom of the group in a group with Syria and Canada in it. I don't know what's happened. So, Brazil lose 2-0. So they beat Syria and they beat Canada 3-1 each. Brazil, who did they lose to then? They lost 4-0 against Syria. What's going on with that? So this man is their star player. He's not even that good. What's happened, Brazil? You've just fallen off. You're third in the world. Anyway, the fact that Romania have managed to get out of the group stages as the leaders of the group means that they will go through into the next round, which I assume we can't see just yet. Do we even know who they're going to be playing? Probably, we should know. But what we're going to do is just go on holiday until the 18th of July. See what happens. So we'll go on holiday for a month, see how well Romania do in the World Cup. If they win it, I'm going to be shocked. I'll tell you that. It's the 19th of July, and Romania are ranked 9th in the world. They were up to 8th, and then have just dropped down to 9th place in the world. I have no idea what's happened in the World Cup. I don't think it says anything on this screen. It says now they're in the European International League Division A Group 3, whatever that nonsense is. But I feel like something good might have happened. Well, not that good, apparently. So the final was Mexico versus Belgium. Mexico winning it 2-1. Where did they get? They didn't even finish. They didn't even get to the quarterfinals. Why did they fly up so high then? They didn't even get to the. They didn't even get to the quarterfinals at all. In the round of 16, they lose against Germany. So how did they just fly up so high? I mean, I guess beating Brazil's kind of a big deal. Syria finished 3rd in the group and qualified, and actually got quite a distance in, losing eventually to Belgium. So I mean, why did they jump so high in the world rankings? I have no idea. I can only assume that beating Ecuador, Saudi Arabia, Canada, Syria, Brazil and El Salvador is a good thing. I imagine Syria probably leapt up as well. Not by much. And Brazil were really high and have now dropped down to 4th. I don't know. El Salvador, 72nd in the world? I don't get it, guys. I have no idea what's going on. But that is going to do it then for this potentially really long video where we go 30 years into the future of this Building a Nation save with Romania and mainly FC Voluntari. And it's not really gone well. If I'm honest, as a Building a Nation save, it's not gone well. But as a save where we wanted to turn Voluntari into a very good side, it's gone very, very well because they have won the league 42 times in a row. Well, not in a row, but they've won 42 league titles, 7 Champions Leagues, 2 Club World Championships, 24 Romanian Cups, 4 UEFA Super Cups, 1 Europa Conference League, 28 Romanian Super Cups, and then the Romanian Second League, which technically we won that one as well, so that one's important, and then these 2 we don't care about. So it's kind of gone alright, hasn't it? But that is going to do it then. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back with more Football Manager in FM24, and hopefully we're going to do a Building a Nation save in FM25 as well.